If you are in desperate need of change and you're getting overwhelmed and even confused with everything that you've heard so far about manifestation and all of the hacks to bend time and change your reality, this video is going to blow your mind. Have you ever wondered, like, what are you doing wrong? Like, what are you still not getting? Why is your life not changing? Well, let me start by explaining this. If your life is not changing externally, it's because nothing internally has changed within yourself enough for you to have to see the changes in your physical reality. Okay? You are not years and months or strategies or skills away from the life that you want to live. You are just frequencies away. And this is what I'm going to explain in this video for you guys today. What is exactly to quantum jump? Have you guys ever asked this question? To quantum jump, according to physics, is to what? Quantum jumping is when one electron has a massive shift in energy. It has an energetic shift without the in-between. Now, quantum leap, bringing that to our reality, if you want to mess fast, to change your life fast, you can't stand living broke anymore. You can't stand not getting that job that you want, the opportunity that you want. You can't stand being single anymore, right? How do you shift so fast to get that reality that you want? You must understand this, okay? You must understand that how fast you're gonna quantum leap is how fast you're gonna drop your current identity and embody a new identity. So you're completely changing your energetic state. And that comes down to your frequency. You hear this, oh, you gotta change your frequency, your vibration all the time. But what most people misunderstand is that, okay, I gotta change my frequency, I gotta raise my vibration, I gotta be more grateful and happy. Yet those things work, but you're missing out completely if you think that frequency only equates to your emotional state. Your frequency in physics is how many times a certain event happens in a certain period of time. How frequently do you go grocery shopping? How frequently do you go to the gym? How frequently you exercise? How frequently do you go partying? So you see, how frequently is how often you are doing something. But when it comes to frequency to shift your reality, is how frequently you are sustaining that persona, that identity that matches the outcome that you're trying to have in your life. Simply put. But it's tricky. Yes, it's tricky because most people are operating. There are different levels of consciousness. The level where majority of people is at is I see my reality and I am a victim to it and I am just responding to life, right? I don't have the money and I see the lack, therefore I feel lack. You are being controlled by your external circumstances. Now, someone who can quantum leap and leave poverty and scarcity behind is someone who understands that I might be seeing lack in my physical reality right now, but I'm not letting that dictate how I am feeling. And I am going to consciously choose to feel abundant because I understand how creation is done. So how do we do this? Be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have. How many times I have to say this? Be, do, have. Ingrain that in your mind. It's not how, what do I have to do here? What do I have to do? No, have to do are the last. You're going to have the results when you can sustain your state of being. And that's why this is hard. But this is the whole entire message that you can find in the Bible, for example, that Jesus did not let the results change who he was. Because when you are sustaining your identity, it does not matter the external because you know you create the results. So when you sustain this be, do, have, that's when you're going to have your quantum leap, your results. Most people operate the other way. They need to have the results, the money, the sales, the clients, the love, for them to feel worthy of love, for them to feel loved, for them to feel abundant. And that's what's keeping you stuck because you're still operating in reverse. You're still letting whatever you perceive with your physical senses control who you are being. So now, Bia, how long do I have to sustain my state of being to match that frequency, to match that desired reality? You see, this is another mistake that most people do. It's not about time, okay? When it comes to an electron, how fast can an electron quantum jump is the exact amount of energy. How fast can the electron gather or lose the exact amount of energy? So it does, when we are talking about miracles, quantum jumping, and I have seen that because I've experienced in my own life. It's not about time. If you're operating, waiting, or how long you're operating totally in the 3D reality, in the physical reality, It is about stability. Is stability. When you can make your frequency your default state without forcing, without wobbling, because remember, your thoughts and your inner assumptions and beliefs are not private. The universal laws, the algorithm of real life is picking on your default state. What is your default state right now? When you look at lack, do you react with lack? With despair, with like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do now, and I can't stand this reality right now, and I'm so tired, and blah, 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 blah. The more you are unstable, the more you are stable in that reality that you don't want to experience. So you have to understand that your state of being, your energy right now is being leaked, right? You have to recall your energy back to you. Think about it like you are this powerful being and you have all this energy for creation because you are a fractal of God, right? So you have all this energy for creation. Now your energy is being leaked to entertain fear, to entertain lack, to entertain worry. So you are misusing your own powers to that. So the number one task that you have to do today is you are going to identify where are you leaking your energy. Are you leaking your energy to entertain doubt and fear? Because if you are, then you are creating more of that. In the beginning, it's going to feel tiring to be the observer of it. But as you practice this, you are going to start shifting this because you're no longer wanting to leak your energy to things that are not taking you closer to your dream reality. So when someone comes in your physical reality and wants to initiate a fight, you're going to ask yourself, is it even worth it to leak my energy to that I don't want anymore? Think about it. Someone who is in a relationship where the guy is like toxic, whatever. I've been there. And I know how hard it is to break the pattern and all of that. But relationships are mirrors, right? So if you think as your higher self, as that woman that is that is treated very well, treated like a queen, then you have to be that queen. And the queen wouldn't accept being treated like that. She wouldn't even get into an argument. She would just withdraw herself from that relationship. But the only reason why people don't do it is because they haven't shifted yet into that queen state, per se, into that person who knows that she deserves to be treated with respect, that she deserves to be treated better. But yet she keeps reacting and being that person who doesn't know her worth yet. And why is it so difficult for us to break the pattern? Is because you came into this world clean, like a computer with no programs. But in order to operate in life, programs were installed in you. And that created your sense of self. So right now, your sense of self is like, I am poor, I am this and that. When you start to awaken and you start to realize, oh, this is not who I am, it's like a part of yourself is dying in the process. And that process can be painful, can be chaotic a little bit, because that self can only exist if you keep feeding it. So it's going to create circumstances in your physical reality to keep itself alive. And it's your job as the observer, as consciousness, to know this and to not feed into that. Whenever you feel like spiraling down because the old self is dying, it is normal. Become the observer of that feeling and the thoughts. Because I don't know if you realize, but you can choose the thoughts that you're going to have. You can choose the feelings that you are going to entertain. You cannot choose the emotion because the emotion is instant, right? Whenever you put your hand in the fire, that's automatic. Emotions are the GPS of human experience. You cannot change that really, but you can change your feeling state, which is an emotion that you keep entertaining. You can do that. Why don't you do that? Because you've been so comfortable in being who you've always been. And you've known how to play that character very well, that any change is difficult. So when you call your energy back, right? And you start operating as your higher self, think about it. Like if right now, let's say a lot of you guys going through money problems, you want more money. If you're still in the state of, I want, I need, I desperately need, what do I have to do? And you put a lot of pressure, I don't see it yet, where is it at? The more you keep in the state of, I need, I don't have, how do I get it? Understand, I need is not I have. They're different words. I need, I have. They are different words. Literally, they're different words, right? So if you need, you don't have. Where is it at? Meaning, I don't have. Lack, separation. Easier said than done. When you look at the physical reality, you're like, when people are calling you, when the bank is calling you, I've been there. When the bank is calling, how do you not feel anxious? Like I said, emotion is a natural response. But once you start developing and awakening and becoming conscious of your avatar of your persona, you understand you can pick your response. You can pick to entertain that feeling of lack. Because as long as you're entertaining lack, you are reinforcing that reality where the banks are calling you, where your credit cards are maximized. So if you need money, let's say, and you don't have the money, you have to stop letting your logical mind and your five senses dictate your reality. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but we only perceive 0.003% of reality approximately. 0.003%. And you're focused on this shit. When you could be focusing on this other powerful thing right here, the 99% that is invisible to the five senses. When you understand that you can't create, that's why Neville Goddard, he talks about the power of imagination, because imagination is in this sphere of the 99%, your vision. So if you stop entertaining your logical mind, because your logical mind is your old self, right? Your logical mind can only find logic and how to make money based upon the programs that you have installed in your mind. It's logical. But miracles, quantum jumps, don't happen in the logical sense, because the logical is whatever you experienced already. Oh yeah, it's logical that I have to work harder for money. It's logical that I have to work to go to college and get a degree to make money, because that's how you've been programmed. Now, when you stop letting the left side of the brain control you so much, then you start playing with this other part of the brain, which is the right side, and that for some reason hasn't been highly developed in our societies nowadays, right? When you start playing with your imagination, with the invisible world, with your prayers, pray more. But the thing is, you guys are praying wrong. How do I pray wrong, Bia? You pray wrong by begging, by asking, with separation. I need, please, I need, with separation. The prayers that are answered fast are the ones where you pray with that state of thank you for answering my prayer. I trust in you. And you release. Release the fear, the doubt, the lack. Because if you keep this, you're leaking your energy to that instead of using your energy to create what you want. So start incorporating a higher sense of trust in self and in the divine forces that are guiding this entire planet. Dr. Joseph Murphy, he always mentioned this, like, you trust this divine intelligence that the sun is going to rise every morning at a set time. You trust that there is enough air for you to breathe, that the trees are going to do its job. You trust that you have water. Yet you don't trust in this 99% that create force that creates your life. You trust that there is this seed. The other day I was eating an apple seed. And in that tiny little seed, there is all the blueprint for creation of an apple tree. Now you came from like an embryo. That embryo has all the divine blueprint for you to become the human that you are today. But not only the human in the body physical sense, but for you to become aware of all of this. And I get it. The reason why most people are still sleeping to this is because we've been programmed. And if most people are aware of this, then things will be very different. So to sum it up, if you want to quantum leap, you must be stable in your new state of being. How would you react? How would you solve this problem? How would you feel? Think about it. Right now, if you're experiencing lack, download the persona, for example, of, I don't know, Donald Trump, Elon Musk. I know those are guys very controversial, but their mindset, if they were like the bank were calling them, their mindset would not be in the problem. They wouldn't shrink themselves. People who make the most amount of money, they solve problems faster than anybody else. And they have such conviction on themselves that the external does not have power over them. So think about, like, what would that person do in this situation? And the more you are stable in that, the more you are calling back your energy in the things that are draining you, the faster you are going to quantum leap, because it's really a change in energy, in your energetic state. Granted, there are your subconscious programs and your nervous system that has been dysregulated for so long, right? So you need to be able to shift all the programs that are controlling your state of being, your frequency. And for that, if you want more videos like this, because this is a video from my academy, make sure you click on the link on the description, because I have a full formula for you to find out what are the exact programs that are controlling your entire reality, because 95% of your day, you are being controlled by your subconscious mind. 95% of your day, you are operating out of your programs. And if you've never changed your programs, if you're not aware of your shadows, That's most likely the reason why it is so hard for you to change this and for you to be the person that you want to be, because there are many strings, invisible strings pulling you back. So if you're done with the BS or like the magical manifestation hacks, yes, they work if they change the belief in the subconscious mind. But there are beliefs and patterns that are much more complex, I would say, than just like money is hard to grow on trees. And what most people miss is the emotional complex. And what I say by that, you cannot have more money, because if you do, then you are going to outgrow your dad, or you are going to stop receiving money from your mom. And she never loved you as a little kid, and now you're making her pay for it. And now you're getting all the love that you didn't get. Stuff like that, that people don't even think about, but it's holding you back.